Sushila, the representative of all the KRCR Superior Generals, dear Father Edward, who is the CRI President for the Bangalore region, my dear Amita and Roja, my dear superiors, major superiors, brothers, fathers and sisters. I was in Holy Land last April, and one of the Franciscan fathers, Father Matthew, I'm sorry I forgot Father Matthew. When I went to Holy Land, one of the Franciscan fathers met me and said that, you Bishop, you are from Bangalore, metropolitan city, and the CRI capital of India, he said. I realized it's really the CRI capital of India, because in our directory we have 179 major superiors of the sisters, 42 major superiors of the fathers. There are 8 of brothers and 9 secular institutes. And to think that every one of them is active and makes our archdiocese a very vibrant one. So, and that is why I am very grateful and happy that so many are here with us and so many are working with us. Father read that I said I should give a sort of a opening address or whatever address that was. I thought I had said everything in my sermon. I suppose you must have heard of that boy who fell in love with a girl. And when you are in love, you know the expressions and the type of repetitions. And so he was writing letters to her. In the beginning it was once a month, and slowly it became once in a fortnight, once a week, and almost every day. And those days there were no phones and SMSs and things of that, and so it had to be sent by post. In the end, this girl got married. To whom? The postman. Jokes apart, I wanted to say that, we priests and religious, we might send many love letters to our youth. And they know that there is meaning. Perhaps it is exaggerated, or sometimes there is no meaning in it. So ultimately, they don't want our letters. They don't want our messages. They don't want our sermons. They want to fall in love with the postman, with the person himself. They want to fall in love with Jesus himself. And that is why perhaps someone asked me, what was your 6th point which you left out in the sermon? I said, trust. Trust. Trusting the youth, having a sort of relationship with them which is endearing to all of us. And that I think is what they want. They don't want our sermons, they don't want our letters, they don't want perhaps the big notes that we give it to them. Ultimately, they want to know that there is someone who loves them, who trusts them. And that is more important. I have to go now because one of my priests died. Father Amrut Raj, you may have heard, he died and I have to make the arrangements and all. But then my mind is known to the President, Father Stani, in all ways, and so perhaps he will explicitate what I have in my mind. And if you permit me, I wanted to put one more thing in your mind, if it was possible, namely the involvement of the religious in the pastoral activities of the diocese that you work. I know that you are geared towards your particular missions, particular apostolates, your education, your medical, this one. But once again, to remind you of the postman, our people need to see men of love, men of faith, men of conviction, and visit the people. Visit the people. We diocesan priests in all the dioceses happen to be just a sprinkling. Just a sprinkling. But we have an army of the religious. If we could start visiting the families, if we could start participating in the activities of the parish which concerns the youth, the women, the different groups. If we could start also perhaps the what we call we have the SCCs or the small groups in our parishes, being part of them. If you also perhaps be the sacramental and the sacramentals, taking communion for the sick and the others, the priests and the religious sisters can surely be part of the SSC communities, etc. Perhaps there's a different angle that I am proposing. I know it's not possible, practical also, but nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. And at some moment, what you do for the Archdiocese, not only Bangalore, but the other dioceses will remain as our commitment to the Lord. In order to be, I was thinking that second sentence, anointed with a fire, applies more to us. We are anointed. We are professed. And therefore, this fire that has anointed us or perhaps ignited us can be made alive, surely in our schools, in our institutions. But that would be once again giving notes, giving lectures, giving this one. Perhaps go and meet them in their houses, in their families, in their situation, in their places of work and study. That also is a great challenge for us. I beg your excuse. I ask for your prayers for this priest who has died. I have to go and make some arrangements. And I wish you well. And be assured that you have my highest appreciation for all that is being done in the Archdiocese and the other dioceses, and especially in the field of education, the field of social work, the field of medicine, and so many other fields. Perhaps the charisms of the congregations is coming up and alive in these days in many forms. Thank you. God bless you.
We'd like to feel one with the diocese and would wish Archbishop our hearty condolence.